Now, a deadly shootout between cash-in-transit robbers and police left 1 dead and 2 arrested in Booysen Johannesburg. The police say security guards were returning to their bases after collecting money from various outlets when armed robbers forced the cash van to a halt. The gunmen then disarmed the guards, bombed the cash van and raced off with police in hot pursuit. Crime analyst Dr. Chris de Kock joins us now to share his perspective and some insights. Chris, good evening to you and welcome. It's another case that involves high-caliber weapons, which is what we understand was used in this case, used by the suspects. They seemed prepared, they seemed organized, even though things didn't ultimately go their way. What were your thoughts when you saw this incident?
Good evening to you and the listeners or viewers. Well, you know, this is typical. This is typical of this time of the year, especially. We always get a spike in CIT robberies in around about October, November, up to middle December, because people, even the organized criminals, need some cash. But what was very interesting again, and this is now the pattern since that occasion about 3 weeks ago at Louis Trichardt, when 19 CIT robbers were shot, or suspected CIT robbers were shot in a shootout between the police and these robbers. It seems that the police either these days have information that things is going to happen, and they then succeed in stopping it, or that the police reaction is very, very quick. And they could, like yesterday evening, succeed in at least get some of the robbers. One was killed, 2 were arrested, and some of the money and also some of the equipment that was used in the CIT heist. So it seems the difference of these last few months, CIT, there was also in between, there were other CIT robberies which the police have foiled. And this clearly shows that either intelligence is starting to work or the reaction is much, much quicker than in the past.
Chris, I really want to dwell on that for a second and take that in, because often, you know, our reportage about the police is unfavorable. Oftentimes, they come under a great deal of criticism. To hear what you're saying now as an expert who's watching these trends, looking at these incidents coming together, suggesting that they're operating in a far more effective and operational way, that they seem to have some information, that the system itself seems to be working when it comes to CITs, certainly sends a really great signal into society around, and also having confidence in the ability of police to be able to carry out their duties. Now, we have read extensively, Chris, how viral cash-in-transit heists have been historically in South Africa, and they also keep changing their modus operandi. Given that the police seem to have stepped up their game, and crime intelligence presumably would have stepped up their game, do you think we're on a better trajectory to try and get to the heart of it and eradicate it?
Yeah, well, the only way of eradicating organized crime, and I mean CIT robberies is clearly the top of organized crime. To do that, you need intelligence. You need intelligence that this is going to happen. And you then have to be prepared when it happened to strike. And in that way, you can take down many of these groups. You see, CIT groups operate differently from other syndicates. Usually what they do is that 1 or 2 people decide, they have information of a lucrative route where money is being transported. They will then go and they will sit down and plan. They will then, over months, get intelligence on their side where and what it will be the best place and the best time to strike. They will then select a team. They will select a team. Like in Louis Trichardt, there were people from Zimbabwe, but there were people from the Eastern Cape, people from KwaZulu-Natal, and then here from Gauteng. So they select a group of people, and that group of people then on a certain day will do the job.
Yeah, as we said often, sorry, Chris, highly sophisticated and definitely organized. I want to quickly end with something around the interventions. Over the years, we've been talking about things like, foam cement, ink, and different measures. But it comes back down to the visuals we've just been showing our viewers of these vast amounts of money, billions, in fact, moving through the streets where civilians are involved. Is there another way to do the transportation of cash in South Africa? We ask this question all the time. Is there a different answer to it now?
Yeah, there were many ideas in the past, like transporting it by air, but even there, the CIT robbers will then just work out a different strategy when the plane land or when the plane leave at the airport, and it will be very expensive. It will be too expensive. There are some other things in the industry. For example, foam, which can be used, which can be exploded in the safe of the cash van whenever it comes under attack, and that foam then fill the safe, and the money can't be taken out of that safe, and the money is actually basically destroyed.
Yeah. Again, you know, almost all of our interviews here on Full View, you wish you had, 10, 15 minutes to talk more. It's really fascinating what you're saying. Again, a psychological win, I think, for South Africa when you share with us and reiterate that police do seem to be turning the tide in terms of apprehending these cash-in transit heisters. Thank you very much for your time. Crime analyst Dr. Chris de Kock.